What is common knowledge that you found out way too late? Never make an important decision if you are hungry or horny. Both have a massive impact on your decision-making abilities. There's no rules to doing chores. You can make it more fun if you want to. For no reason I forgot that I could watch a TV show while I fold laundry and I didn't have to just sit there and do it. Time goes by fast. Always get it in writing. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. Edit. Wow. I'm trying to reply to everyone. I'll get there. My boyfriend introduced me to Voyager. My husband let me watch TNG. Edit 2. The boyfriend became the husband. I made it so. Don't let the in-laws move in. You know what the difference between in-laws and outlaws is. Outlaws are wanted. Your oral health is just as important as your general health. Flushable wipes are not to be flushed ever. Percentages are reversible. So 8% of 25 is the same thing as 25% of 8, and sometimes the reverse is easier to calculate. Headaches, sluggishness, and crankiness are all signs of being hungry. I took medication that made me lose my appetite, and I am not very good at recognizing different types of hunger cues. Feeling especially sad, anxious, or guilty late at night means I gotta go to bed. Didn't figure this out at all. I saw the phrase "never trust how you feel about your life" after 9 p.m. early this year, just before I turned 25. Every action made in anger ends in sorrow. An attorney, when I was 24. That you need to regularly check and top up the fluids in your car. I bought my first car at 16, a cheap old beater, and knew nothing about cars other than gas makes it go. Found out the hard way that it had other required fluids that I had neither checked nor filled. Broke down on the highway and fucked up my engine. I thought islands were floating landmasses for way longer than I am proud to admit. No one really cares about you. I don't mean that in a bad way. But everyone is so busy thinking about themselves, you are always an afterthought. The most embarrassing thing in your life probably doesn't matter that much to someone else. Tell the police nothing. Tell the paramedic everything. A pony is not a baby horse. Edit. The number of people who are responding to this saying that they didn't know this makes me feel so much better for having learned it last year from Reddit. At 36 years old. Glad I'm not the only one it took a while for. Cheers. That gargling saltwater works way better than cough drops for colds and sore throats. Not sure if common knowledge, but Win plus left or right snaps window to half the screen. Handy when you are referring to two different documents or websites at the same time. I learned that last month. Flammable and inflammable mean the same, found that out the hard way. Simply asking how are you once in a while is all it takes to not fall apart from old friends. Basic living skills. My parents were hoarders and neglected me growing up. We lived in filth and wore dirty clothes, rarely bathed, etc. So I never learned what goes into keeping a house clean, or good hygiene practices, or the basic skills needed for normal life. I know in theory how to do those things now, but the underlying core organizational, management, etc. skills still aren't there. It's kinda hard to explain, but it just feels like there will always be a gap for me. Going too long without sleep can impair your ability to drive the same way as drinking too much alcohol. Condoms are cheaper than diapers. Why would you use a diaper as a condom? So she can feel something. There are no vineyards at Martha's Vineyard. When tying your shoes, the direction of the loop before you knot matters. Most of my life my laces were constantly getting loose throughout the day until well into adulthood. Best TED Talk. Hands down had more impact on my life than any other link explains the direction and reasoning. Just because I hold an opinion on something doesn't mean that I need to share it. I spent way too much of my early adulthood inserting my viewpoint into discussions that I wasn't really a part of. Don't make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings. Netflix and chill does not mean watching something on Netflix and chilling. Edit. For those wondering, it means sex. Exactly like WTF I found out like a few weeks ago. I've said it to so many people. I'm like 90% sure I've told somebody I'm going to Netflix and chill with my dogs before. Like, zoinks, Scoob. Hard work isn't always the answer. When I worked a minimum wage job, I would work hard and not take breaks, so a great job, and always finish early. I just then got told to pick up the slack for the employees who spent their time goofing off. Never got a promotion, raise, or even a, hey, good job. That you can actually say no to your parents. That when people ask to borrow money, especially if it's a friend or family, just expect to never see it again. The workplace is not a meritocracy. That incompetent moron is going to get promoted before you get promoted. Deal with it. That you can get pregnant the very first time you have sex. When I first learned about how babies are made in school, I used to picture sex as being this sort of solemn formal ritual. I pictured the couple sitting on the floor in yoga poses. The man would put his thing into her thing, just kind of leave it there for a while. And boom, the woman was pregnant. I used to get so confused as a kid watching teen dramas and soap operas where a girl would say, "I think I'm pregnant." You think? Did you not remember the sacred yoga thing you did a day ago? People can break your trust quickly, even when you thought you knew them well. Edit. Whoa, I've never gotten this many upvotes ever, so thanks. Stripper poles themselves spin. Got drunk, ended up having a stripper bet me I couldn't spin on the pole, so dumb me climbs up there, grabs the pole and flings myself as hard as I could. Well, I ended skidding across the stage. Been a long running joke now. Don't drink then bet a stripper when they are bored. It was like 3 in the afternoon and me and my friends were the only ones there. You can't get lazy with birth control just because you turn 40. Signed. Middle-aged mom of a newborn. You can actually download the entirety of Wikipedia. Lefty loosey, righty tighty. That made my life so much easier. One. Just because they're older than you, doesn't make them more mature. Would have saved me from an entire marriage. Sometimes, regardless of how good a person you are, how hard you try, and how sincere you feel, there are people who will mistreat and take advantage of you. And more importantly, them doing that usually isn't your fault. It's more often a product of who they are and wasn't as personal or important of a choice for them as it will feel for you. If you're not wearing a tie, you don't button the top button of a dress shirt. Let's just say I looked like an idiot at my first internship LMAO. The direction of the arrow next to your car fuel indicator lets you know what side your filling point is. The people you work with aren't your friends. Always keep your guard up. Any and all of them can throw you under the bus at any time. If you've been chopping chilies, wash your hands well before you touch anyone's genitals. That K9 comes from canine. If she starts moaning and squirming, don't stop or change what you're doing. But then you have that awkward moment where she says, "Don't stop," and you suddenly have to remember exactly how to do what you are doing and your body forgets how to body. Or is that just me? Life can literally change forever in the next second, hour or day, and that when people say to enjoy every moment of life as if it's your last, it's actually good advice to maintain a positive attitude and feel like you have no regrets. Edit. Thank you for the upvotes and awards. I'm speaking from personal experience. My son has been diagnosed with a major issue and the good days are limited, so we are living our best life, just enjoying the simple things.